Hi, everybody. I'm here with Dr. Nario for our weekly discussion. How you doing, Doc?
Very good, Steve. Thank you for having me again. Always a pleasure.
All right, so Dr. Nario is in Reno, Nevada, at the Clinic Biointegrative Health Center. You can check them out online and see all the different things they treat, all the different treatments they do, and so on. So we're going to talk about, what'd you call it, Kratom?
Kratom. Kratom.
Kratom.
hmm
All right, so any stories you want to tell us about this when you're out with your doctor friends or anything?
So I was just in Arizona. So if you notice our last webinar, I did it from there. So there is what we call now, what we call Kratom bars in Arizona. And Kratom bars, I want to compare this to,
Are they in Nevada?
I don't know if there's some in Nevada, but for sure it's going to come in here. It's one of the states that are not regulating, I mean, they're not restricting Kratoms here, but there are states that wouldn't allow it. But Nevada is one open state for it. So when I was there, we actually went to a Kratom bar. I mean, the other doctors just wanted to see as part of our education what Kratom is. So when we go to this typical type of bar, it's a place where everybody's happy. It's almost like the dispensaries, right? Everybody's like, yeah, we're all zoned out. We're just like thumbs up on you. This is the same feel here. Nobody's cussing out. Everybody's just loving each other, and that's why this came into my curiosity. What is it, and what does it do, and what does it contribute to an anti-aging perspective? So that's why we're not going to be talking about, we always hear about this in podcasts and patient conversations. And again, some people swear it helps with pain, mood, or energy. Others warn it's just another addictive substance in disguise. So instead of hype or fear, today we'll do what an anti-aging medicine uh, practitioner does best, is to understand the biology, the risk, and the reality so you can make informed decisions. No judgment, no promotions, just clarity.
Were you giggling?
I guess so. No, it's contagious. And when you're in a happy place like that, it's just something that I guess people would. It's just, you just blend in. That's what happens when you're there.
Was there a lot of people there?
There was, yeah, and surprisingly, yeah, it reminds me of the feel of a dispensary, because there, when you go to a dispensary, there's a lot of people who you can talk to, and they just connect with you. They just talk with you in a very casual way, and of course, they don't know us being doctors, so we just blended in with the crowd, and they were telling us their experiences about kratom, and how fearful. Of course, I was with conventional doctors there in the fellowship. They were like, "No, don't do it. It's scary. The addiction is so high in terms of the rate. Don't even try it." So that's why we're gonna get into that in a little bit, and what kratom really is as we do a deep dive.
So you and all your doctor buddies went to this place for educational purposes.
Yes,
All right. So,
it's like going to
um,
the zoo.
okay, for educational
It's a
purposes.
field trip.
Now, there's some immediate benefits, like we were kind of talking before we turned this on, like stress reduction, things like that, right?
Yeah, so let me give you a little background there. Kratom comes from the leaves of the Mitragyna speciosa, native tree in Southeast Asia. Traditionally, it was used for laborers, the one who works there in the field, for fatigue and endurance and even mood support. In the US, kratom is usually in the form of powder leaves, capsules, extracts, majority, which matters a lot because extracts are the strongest forms, and kratom isn't one compound. It's a chemical cocktail, but two compounds, I guess, drive most of the effects. The compounds are mitragynine and 7-hydromitragynine. These are why kratom doesn't behave like a typical herb, because of that same reason. And how does it work in our body? This is where things gets interesting and a little bit concerning, because kratom compounds interacts with mu opioid receptors. So when you hear opioid receptors, you think of the opiates, the morphines, the Percocets, the Lortabs. It also influences dopamine and serotonin, affects pain perception and mood. But here's the key decision. Kratom is not an opioid, but it acts as in the terms of the opioid pathways. That's why people report pain relief, calm, or mild euphoria, increased energy at lower amounts. sedation at higher amounts. And for an anti aging lens, this isn't just about pain relief, it's about how often we want to manipulate the brain chemistry as we age. So I want you to compare this in terms of the effects when you take an opiate that everybody's considering as a controlled substance.
So, are they studying this for different benefits or different health,
Yes. So there
longevity?
are,
What are they specifically studying it for that they're hypothesizing or they're hoping to find out about it? What are they studying it for?
right. So a lot of so again, as an early product, of course, a botanical. So majority of the studies here are not, of course, the randomized controlled trials. Majority of this are really more of observational, more of anecdotal. Those are the common ones. But the most famous study for kratom is related to it's a 2020 so a randomized placebo-controlled double-blind study published in the Journal of Psychoactive Drugs. It's found that kratom significantly increased pain tolerance in regular users from 11 seconds pre-dose to 25 seconds 1 hour post-dose in a cold presser test. So what is that? This is where your hand gets placed in a very cold solution of fluid or liquid, usually water, and it actually is trying to time how long your hand can stay there and pull it out. So and that's where it showed its capacity to make the subject make their hand stay longer in that specific liquid. And this actually, again, this provides one of the limited pieces of human experimental evidence supporting kratom's reported pain relieving properties, though larger and more diverse trials are still needed.
So, it's been shown to have some effectiveness on pain relief.
Yes, and again, when we talk about that, we as our anti-aging audience here, why this is being used most of the time, it's because again, the this avoids prescription opiates. Number one, it manages chronic pain, improves mood or motivation, maintain functions without strong medications. So that makes sense, right? Especially in the midlife and beyond, in terms of our lifespan. But anti-aging medicine always asks, what's the long-term cost or short-term relief? So let's talk about I guess, the risks here. So dependence and tolerance. So regular use of kratom can lead to physical dependence without withdrawal symptoms are real here, such as anxiety, insomnia, muscle aches, and even mood swings. And also another one would be lack of regulation, variability. So potencies varies wildly between products. It's almost like cannabis. Extracts are far stronger than the traditional leaf. Contaminants such as heavy metals, adulterants have been found. So anything like a product in the black market has these specific issues as well. And then liver, heart, and hormonal concerns. It was seen in case reports that it can actually cause liver injury and even heart rhythm problems. And some users report low libido and hormonal disruption with chronic use. For an anti aging standpoint, anything that disrupts sleep, hormones, or mitochondrial health deserves caution. So that's why I am not against this. It always has to be in regulation.
So, these places in Arizona, are they trying to be health spas or is this just purely recreational?
It's purely recreational. So along with there's it actually and when you go in there and you get a menu basically. So in the menu you would see that it's served in so many different forms. It's served as a tea, as a cold
You drink it.
yeah, you even have the choice of cold or hot. And then also, if you want it to be inserted in food, like I think a brownie would be a choice. And you could also get gummies for it. So, but really the most famous one in terms of the form would be the tea, because that's something that you're drinking slowly as you kind of socialize and converse with everyone as you get into that happy zone, right? And it's really more for socialization because you're there with like-minded people. And again, it's all like, yeah, they're all like happy. There's nobody like making a ruckus in there. So everybody just wants to socialize, and they even give you their business cards. I mean, I don't know this person, but they give me business cards for nothing, right? That's how happy they are. So, but anyway, it's just yeah, you get out of that place with tons of like this thick of business cards because everybody's just socializing. But that's the point. In moderation, this is definitely something worth looking into. But in excess, that's when I guess trouble brews or trouble starts.
I guess it would be just like alcohol or anything else, right?
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this in the perspective that could this be the next CBD or cannabis? Would states now jump into the kratom bandwagon to start businesses? Because as if you're hearing me, that this also it's almost like had the beginnings of cannabis or hints of cannabis because it was initially used for pain relief. And as you would hear me a while ago citing a study that it was actually helping that aspect as well. And not only am I promoting, I mean, not promoting, but emphasizing on the fact that it's helping with pain relief, but it also helps with it elates you. For somebody has depression or just sadness who wants to socialize, it enhances their social well being and even a sense of self. And that's why there's so many modalities, but this natural herb, this is something definitely to be looked into in integrated medicine.
Well, it sounds like on your trip there to Arizona, which you were at a clinic, right? I guess you did some pretty serious extracurricular scientific studies.
Right, we kinda need to go into the jungle to actually get into the weeds of everything and to have firsthand information. But really, again, here's the key thing. Anti-aging medicine is about resilience, nervous system balance, mitochondrial health, and even cognitive clarity and even long-term function. Kratom may temporarily reduce pain and even boost mood, as I mentioned, but repeated reliance, again, as I warn everybody, may blunt natural reward system, disrupt sleep architecture, and even increase stress load over time. This doesn't mean kratom is evil, it just means it's not neutral. So that's the message I guess I want to send out to our public that wants to try it and to look into it. Just make sure you have regulation. I don't even know if you can go to your doctor if they're educated about it. I mean, I am. So maybe if you find a practitioner who's also well versed and understanding this scientifically can help you. But right now, majority of my colleagues who were there, like, were scratching their heads and just like, no, whatever I read about it, I am not going to do it. But now, as I see the effects of this in people who were there, it was just, okay, this is something. This is interesting. And I wouldn't say that big no or not do it. I wouldn't say those things in relation to what I saw.
Have you ever had a patient or a client at the clinic ask you about this?
Yes. So that's
Really?
where also my
So
curiosity.
this is before you did your little study.
Mhm.
You've had people ask you about this, and then so is that what got you started to digging into it
So
and learning more about it?
one of the motivations would be that those patients, meaning the moment that I had with them, because I didn't want to be ignorant. So of course, the first thing that happened to me when I saw that patient, I Googled it. And first thing you'll see, FDA says don't do it, or FDA not FDA approved. Everything's not FDA approved. So when you see those first phrases in your search, you're just like, I'm backing off, don't want to do it. And as you would see here, that states are starting to open for it. It's almost like integrative medicine. Ozone is not FDA approved. Hydrogen peroxide, peptides are some of the peptides are not FDA approved, right? So this kind of falls in that specific category. And when you hear these patients talk about it, you don't want to be left behind. You want to be in that specific update so that you can guide these patients in a very healthy way. And now us being in the fellowship or in Arizona, we now came into this light that we can actually have an actual experience to see how this affects an actual person, or we can call them patients, right? And again, as what I saw, there's nothing really for me to basically run away from. It's really something that I rub my chin like, what is going on here?
Alright, so is there any have they determined any long-term negative effects or long-term benefits? It sounds like long-term is not something that you really wanna look at with this, but is there long-term benefits potentially?
Yeah, so the benefits for sure is when short term. That's what I probably want to vouch for. Because when you take short term, so this is the therapeutic effects again, pain management. That's the one that I always hear and look and see in the research. Back pain, fibromyalgia, migraines. neuropathy, arthritis. All of those had been seen to be benefiting from this. And also in relation to withdrawal, opiate withdrawals, right? You don't want to be in that state of using regular opiates. There are people who actually use this to help them withdraw from opiates and not take them anymore. And I mentioned about the lower doses, the mood and energy enhancements that it brings. That's why you become social when you're in those specific situations, lowers your anxiety and depression, and even improves your focus to actually have a conversation with others. And the thing here is when you're talking about the bad side of everything, so meaning the higher doses, long term use, and even combined with other substances, sure, marijuana can be in there, other drugs can be done, alcohol for sure. So this actually will lead to specific side effects such as nausea, vomiting, constipation. It's almost like an opiate. And then also addiction. So that's always what I want to emphasize with this. There is a risk for dependence here, just because you will be loving what you're going to be feeling. But of course, for an expense and also for a price. Severe effects in your body, there were seen in the literature that liver toxicity, seizures, high blood pressure, respiratory problem, hallucination, psychosis, and even anorexia. That's why long-term use is really something you need to be cautious about. So short term, that's where the money's at with Kratom.
So is it expensive?
Not really.
Is
I
it like
mean,
having a beer?
well, like I think the menu showed like $15 for a cup. It's like Starbucks, you even have
It's like a
grande.
cocktail.
Yeah, it's like a grande you want a grande. I don't know if they copied the Starbucks selections, but yeah, they have those typical small, medium, wide cups where they can actually give their customers the choice of what size it is. And again, Arkansas is one of the, sorry, Arizona is one of the more I guess they regulate it. They're not saying it's just out there. Nevada falls in that same category. But the banned states, as I remember, would be like Alabama, Arkansas, Indiana, Louisiana, Rhode Island, I think, Vermont, Wisconsin. So
Utah.
there are states here that it's an X. No go, don't use it.
Very interesting. Well, any last things that you would want to, if you guys have questions, put them in the comment section. I'll make sure the doctor gets those questions. And any last thoughts or
Yeah,
things
so
that you would tell us about this?
Kratom is a biological active plant with real effects and real risks, and very little long-term aging data. Anti-aging medicine isn't about chasing the relief; it's about protecting the future version of you. If something promises energy, calm, and pain relief all at once, sure, pause. Ask better questions. Think long-term, because longevity isn't just about feeling good today. It's all about still functioning well tomorrow. So that's why your nervous system remembers everything you teach it. So again, be cautious, be curious. Just don't because your friends are taking it, the whole nation is taking it. You need to know what you're putting inside your body.
Well, I would think if it's legal in Nevada, they would have something in Las Vegas,
Yeah, I don't want to say legal. I just want to say it's basically regulated because there is a you see this
like
label.
alcohol's legal.
Yeah, that's right. So you actually would see remember that when you buy non-GMO products, there's a sticker there. So they also have for kratom when you buy kratom, there is also an actual label that the label is actually called. Anyways, what it means it's actually third party tested, meaning there are no contaminants in your specific product, and it's just pure kratom that you're getting. So it's actually clean, unadulterated, and this is what you really need to look for. So I think the name, as I remember this, is actually it's like American. It's GMP compliance for American Kratom Academy or Association, something like that. But there is a label that you would see in your Kratom product.
So can you buy this at a place that sells it in Arizona for
You can,
personal use at home?
you can. So you could,
Interesting.
yeah, you can bring this to. I mean, you of course you buy it from there, you take it to your home, and this is something that they're not requiring you to. I didn't see a sign that you need to finish that tea or mocktail or shot inside the facility. You
You can
definitely
take a to go cup.
yeah. So If you're gonna be doing Uber Eats, I think they can do Uber Eats and get it to you.
Huh. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
it is.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, Doc. I think a lot of our listeners will find this quite interesting. And because, everybody's into all this new peptides aren't really new, but they're new for most people. It's really exploding right now.
Right, right.
But thanks for testing that out for us.
Anytime, for the sake of science, we take a bullet.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for being with us, Doc.
All right. Thank you, Steve, for having me again. As you all know, that knowledge is power. And thank you for letting me provide you with edge on longevity and health maintenance, which I call the biological edge or the bio edge.